What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and we are here with the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. High school football just started. I was at I always try to still call it the Georgia Dome. I'm so used to calling it the Georgia Dome. I was kept biting my tongue while I was there. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I was there all weekend with some of the openings of high school football. So definitely go check that out on Inside the Hashes. As you see in my background, I got a new background. But yeah, so it was definitely real fun going there, seeing a lot of competition. I'll tell you one thing, man. Nothing's like Georgia football, man. I know there's Florida, I know there's Cali, I know there's Texas. Texas might be the only one that I'm not sure about. That might be a little bit better than Georgia, but dude, Georgia football is different. I'll just say that. I know I live down here now. I'm a little biased, but Georgia football is different. But how you been, man? What's been new for you, man?
I'm good, man. Nothing really. Just season's 5 days away.
Yes,
Excited.
sir.
You know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we got a little preseason going on. Kind of warmed us up a little bit. We got high school football just kicked off in Georgia. I don't know if it's kicking off in Jersey. Yeah, I don't think it ever kicks off this early in Jersey, but it's been a while since I've been up there. And then college football is right around the corner, and we're super excited about it. As you know, we are a college football podcast, your favorite college football podcast. So if you want to make sure you tap in, definitely make sure you listen to us, like and subscribe. You're on live on YouTube right now. If you want to put a comment in, put your comment in. We are live and reactive podcast. So you want to tell us how we're doing? We'll let you know, and we'll put it on the screen and give you some feedback on what we're saying. But today, it's not about you. It's about us. It's about me. It's about you, Ray. And we're gonna talk about our favorite teams because I just feel like we've been neglecting our teams, so we might as well just take a whole episode and just talk about our teams.
There you
What do you
go.
think, Ray?
I'm
It's only
ready.
fair, right?
I agree.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So, all you Ohio State fans, all you USC fans, all you whoever you're a fan of, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just letting you know. You can come in here too. We welcome you too. We might not be as nice. We're gonna be nice, but we might not be as nice. But you could come in and chat it up with us. We definitely would love to hear from you guys as well. What y'all think about our teams as well? I like to hear outside feedback. I like to hear outside feedback and what y'all think. I know Ohio State fans are a little scared still. But yeah. So, but let's get right into the first team. Obviously, we're going to go with Notre Dame right now. Ray's favorite team up there in the North. Um, First and foremost, Ray, what was y'all record last year?
Our record was 9-4 last year.
I know y'all lost 4 games. Okay, I know the Marshall game. I know. I think it was your first game, right? Uh, I know y'all lost to Clemson, right?
We lost to Ohio State, lost to
Uh,
Marshall, lost to Stanford, and lost to USC.
Ooh. Yeah.
Um,
Wait. Y'all didn't y'all play Clemson last year or no?
we did. We destroyed Clemson.
Oh, that was the game y'all beat. Yeah. Okay. That
My
was a.
favorite team in 3 years, man.
You guys had a really really weird year
Yeah,
last year.
very strange year.
Yeah, yeah. Losing to teams like Marshall, but beating Clemson, it was insane. But let's get into this year, man. 2023, going to the 2024 season. I know you're very excited because you got a new quarterback on your team, Ray, that I think you're very excited about. So I'm gonna let you talk about him.
I am Sam Hartman. Everybody knows transferred from Wake Forest. He's probably the best Notre Dame quarterback since. I mean,
Brady Quinn?
what's that?
Brady Quinn?
Yeah, Brady Quinn. I mean, like you could say, like what's his name was. Like, there've been some decent players there.
Yeah.
Ian Book not being one of them. Ian Book was very
I think
limited.
is he still on the Eagles roster? I can't remember.
He played in the preseason. I'm assuming he did play in the preseason for them. I know that.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Brady Quinn's the best guy since he's the best guy since Brady Quinn. I mean, I'm just excited. I think their roster is pretty good. I think I'm expecting them to have a good year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting Marcus Freeman to prove everybody that he is the guy for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and you gotta remember it was only his first year last year, so you gotta give him some growing pains a little bit in there. So the team is still kind of getting acclimated of how the coach will react. Some of his schemes, things like that. Like you can't just go into a season and expect it just to flow. Different people, different strokes. Especially when you had a coach in that program for such a long time. How long was Kelly with you guys?
Oh, well, like 17 years, 16
Brian
seasons.
Kelly was there that long? Jesus.
He was there for a long time. He was.
Yeah, yeah,
Marcus Freeman's coming in and as a defensive guy,
correct.
which is different than Kelly.
Hmm.
A demanding defensive coach, but a good, genuine person, I believe. Or I never really thought Brian Kelly was that. I thought Brian Kelly's a good coach,
Hmm.
but I never felt like he was a good guy. I just never got
Yeah,
that feeling. But I mean, I don't. I mean, but I don't need that if you win.
yeah,
And he won a lot of games in Notre Dame. He didn't win a lot of big
correct.
games. He won a lot of games
He
there.
did. He did. Yeah.
So I mean, I think if you talk about their running game, they have Aldrich Estime, Logan
Hmm.
Diggs, guys that are very talented running backs. Combined,
Yeah.
they averaged like 5 yards a carry last year. Averaged for like ran for like almost 2,000 yards. Very
Hmm.
good football players. Again, Sam Hartman gives you a little bit of element, and he'll run a little bit.
Yeah,
So
he
that's
will.
improve their offense. I mean, where they're going to have to improve is getting some wide receivers that can make some plays for them because last
That's
year
gonna be
Michael Meyer was that guy at tight end, and now
correct.
he's gone.
Hmm.
So you're going to have to see if guys can step up and play, make a bigger role. They did get transfer Cleve Smith from Virginia Tech, who was their leading receiver last year,
Hmm.
and Tobias Merriweather is a talented kid. Colsey are both talented guys.
Hmm.
I think that their production will improve because the quarterback play will improve. I really
Yeah,
believe.
that's a good point. That you got the quarterback play that will get the ball a little bit better and get it out a little bit more smoother than the guys that you had last year. So ask me this. You listed a couple of guys that are going to be pass catchers, and a lot of them are not household names at least yet. Not a lot of people know a lot about these guys. Who you think will be the guy that kind of emerge? And then also give me somebody that is maybe a sleeper that can be that guy.
Again, Killer Smith transferring from Virginia Tech, I think will be
Yeah.
a guy who will come in and give you some vertical threat. I think he will be an improvement or help improve a locker room that really
Mhm.
isn't a bad. It's not bad. It's unproven.
Yeah.
I think Lorenzo Styles is the one guy who's got plus size, speed, size combination. I think that again with improved quarterback play, he'll improve.
Hmm.
And last year we know like Michael Mayer was so good, and he was always open in the middle of the field, and that's always going to be tempting for a quarterback. The
Hmm.
question is, can they run? Can they run the ball maybe make some bigger plays downfield using their wide receivers that way?
Yeah.
Because last year that was not in their offense.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, I agree that and that's a big part of you guys' offense. And like you said, they kind of got away from it. And a lot of that, you need a really good tight end to help with that. And Notre Dame is known for their tight ends. Again, this position is a lot of guys that we don't really know. So anybody in that position kind of emerged to you.
Well, Mitchell Evans played on the team last year, and he's a
Yeah.
good, solid blocker. Some people may say he's a little more athletic than Mayer was, so as far as straight line speed, but
Interesting.
I don't worry about straight line speed as much as I worry about getting open and making
Correct.
plays. So
Correct.
he's going
Correct.
to prove if he's that guy,
Yeah.
So, but he's a talented kid, and like you
Mhm.
said, Notre Dame usually recruits pretty well at tight end.
Yeah.
And I think Mitchell Evans is a talented guy who, again, needs to make his own niche.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, again, you guys should be a little bit more pass heavy, not pass heavy, but I'm sorry, not pass heavy, run heavy, in a sense. and doing more play action kind of deals, things like that. And obviously, with that, you're going to have a great offensive line. So comparing to from last year, how do you feel like this year's offensive line is going to kind of, you know,
I think
be
I think Joe Alt is a top 10 pick this
correct?
year, and he's an established player.
Yeah,
I think Blake Fisher is a right tackle, who's going to be a very good player, and Zeke
mm-hmm.
Corral is a center, who's also a senior, who's a good football player. The guards are younger guys: Billy Scaremouth, and Andrew Kristofic. Guys who are younger that need to again establish that they're players, and because Notre Dame lost some interior offensive line last year. But I honestly think again, this may be Notre Dame's most athletic offensive line in a couple of years.
Definitely,
I'm
definitely.
expecting a lot. I do. I expect them. I expect their offense to be improved. I
Yeah.
expect their defense to improve from last year. Of course, Tommy Reese is not the offensive coordinator no more. He's all off to Alabama,
Yeah.
and we'll get to see how he does there. But we'll see. I mean, like
I hear the pain
they,
in your voice as you said that.
they brought in Gerard Parker, who's a guy that Marcus Freeman knows from his days at Ohio State and other
Yeah.
places that he's coached. So I'm expecting them. I'm expecting. I think last year Marcus was like, you know what? Let me try to keep the offense intact and let me improve on the defense because their defense had gotten better the year before, and last year it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't their defense that really hurt them last year. It was their offense not moving the ball,
Mm-hmm.
enough.
No, I agree.
They did have a bad game against Stanford. Their defense was bad against Stanford. Missed tackles.
Yeah, they
You know,
did. Which
so
Stanford been brutal last couple of years. So
that was the one loss last year.
I want to
Marshall was a frustrating loss, but the Stanford,
mm-hmm.
after we thought you righted the ship a little bit, to lose to
Yeah.
Stanford that way that was horrible. That was my worst game of the year, man. I hated that game.
Yeah. I actually forgot about that game. It was so bad.
It was bad. A lot of missed tackles, man. Really sloppy play.
Definitely. I want to ask you about a player real quick because you mentioned him, and he's a guy that early in the Inside the Hatches days, we actually interviewed him when he was at high school. Andrew Christopher, your son actually interviewed him when he was with us. So I kind of wanted to see what you thought about his progress because again, we interviewed him when he was in high school. Very efficient player. I believe he's playing guard this year. If I think that's what you said.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about him?
I like him. I think he's a good, solid athlete. He's not played a lot of competitive football yet. So again, we're looking for him to. I think he's a physical cadell. I think that Notre Dame's offensive line is going to be more physical and more athletic than it's been in a while.
He's definitely physical. He was definitely physical in high school for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, like, we are going to win games in the trenches this year, where we hadn't been able to do that in a couple of years. Joe Alt is a stud. He's a top 5, top 10, if no worse than that. Left tackle. Blake Fisher is for a right tackle, is athletic and strong. Zeke Corral at center. I mean, their offensive line should not be a problem this year. Should not be.
Yeah. So this was my final question on the offense. Considering that I just got Sam, Hartman, and I believe that he's probably the centerpiece of all this. All your optimism for the offense.
Sure.
But if it wasn't him, would you still think this offense would be a good or efficient offense without somebody like a Sam Hartman that can get you out of trouble?
No, because we lost Tyler Buckner. He transferred too. So no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I got like 3 or 4 transfers on the offense.
Yeah, he left when Tommy Reese left for Alabama, he went with him.
Yeah.
Basically. That's and I mean the shame of it is that we actually have the kid's name is escaping me. He was a recruit that we got in last year. That he's not a bad player, but again, he's not played. You know what I mean? Like part of my encouragement about Hartman is he has a lot of experience too. There's nothing that
Yeah.
someone's going to throw at him that he's not seen before. And let's face it, at
Mm-hmm.
Wake Forest last year, they were not a great team, but he kept them in every
He
game.
made them look good.
Yeah, he kept
Mm-hmm.
them. I mean, he kept them. When they played Alabama last year, he played phenomenal football, man.
He
So
played his
again,
butt
it's
off.
not only his talent; it's his experience that I'm excited about. So
Correct. Correct. I agree. Yeah, you had the last couple of years you had very little experience. Ian Book probably had the most experience I had in the last couple of years. And he been away for a couple 2-3 years now. So yeah, I can see what you mean by having some experience in that position now, kind of like make you feel a little bit more at ease now. I hear that.
yeah, I mean,
So let's talk. Okay.
you're fine. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna move on to the defense. So let's
Fine.
get to that defense, right? Because I think this is gonna be the bread and butter of this Notre Dame team in general, and it has been the last couple of years anyway. So it always makes sense that you guys have a good, strong defense. Let's talk about this defensive line, Ray. Anybody that stands out to you the most on this
Howard
line?
Cross, Riley Mills are both very good football players, physical, athletic.
Yeah,
Um, we'll see. That's like the other guys are good depth pieces there. They have JD
yeah.
Burntrad, who's a good linebacker, but really Cam Hart, their corner, is very good. And Benjamin
Yeah.
Morrison was a true freshman last year and had 6 interceptions. Number 20. The kid is going to be a star.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
Star.
Yeah, I remember him.
Our defensive backs are good.
Yeah.
DJ Brown, senior safety. I mean, and again, I think there's a lot of depth on the defense. I think there's playmakers there. We do need our ends
Yeah.
to supply better pass rush. But hopefully, if we get some
Right.
leads, which we didn't do a lot of last year, it's funny. I keep going back to that Clemson game last year. We did everything right in that game. We got a lead. We ran the ball. We kept the ball away from their offense. We got to the quarterback. We did everything right in that game. I need to see more of that this year. But again, when we get to the schedule part of it, the other team's schedule was weak this year. It's really and like part of me likes it and part of me hates it because we talked about this before. They should have
really have a lot of challenge.
Yes, they should have a pretty good record, but beating some of these teams is not going to do anything for you in the standings. That's what bothers me.
Correct.
So.
Definitely. No, I agree. There's a guy that I want to kind of point out to you guys on defense, the line, because this will be his sophomore year. He played on the team last year as a freshman, and I'm hearing some good stuff about him in camp already. Gabriel Rubio, a guy that we interviewed some years ago, very talented Notre Dame guy. He's a fan of Inside the Hatches for sure. So been keeping a close eye on him. Obviously, last year he didn't get much reps. I think he got redshirted actually. But I'm hearing some really good things out of camp with him. He's going to be in a rotation obviously this year, but look for him to have a strong end of the season because I'm pretty sure he's going to be a starter by his junior year. So I think he's a name that everybody should really look out for. He was a beast in high school. I mean, wrecking ball, man, and I really do like it. I really do like his style, and I like him as a kid too. Really entrenched in his Spanish roots and everything like that with his family and things like that. So really good kid. All about family, but he is a hard worker. I'm telling you, right? If there's a guy that I tell you about, especially on your own team, that would be him.
Yeah, Rubio's a talented kid. Again, he did not play a lot last year, if at all.
Right.
He kind of redshirted last year, but I know the defense is excited about him. They have big plans for him. He's going to be a really good football player.
Yeah.
I think on third down, you'll see him move inside and give you some pass rush right now. So,
who he remind me of? Breesy. Brian Breesy.
Okay, I see that. Nice.
Yeah, he reminds me of Brian Reese. So
I mean, like,
if you could get a Brian Reese out of him and without the injuries, dude, you got a guy.
yeah, I mean, I'm
By
a
the way,
what's
by
that?
the way, I'm hearing that Brian Reese is doing really well with the Saints right now too. So
Not surprised.
not surprised at all.
No, I'm not. The Saints are a weird team for me because I don't have any feelings towards them.
Me neither.
I don't
I
care
don't either.
about them, and I don't dislike them, and I don't like them. Sean Payton used to annoy me a little bit because he cried all the time. But now that he's
Yeah.
not there, I care less.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of their current coach, but yeah, I mean, like you said, Ray, it's not a team that like moves the needle for me. They got talent there, but it just
I know there's
I don't
always a
know.
little bit of talent
But,
there for sure.
yeah, for sure. All right, so let's look at your guys' schedule real quick, Ray. Let's get right into that. Let me see. As soon as my thing loads. Ray, if you want to start off, you can, because my thing's loading.
Well, we start Saturday against Navy. That game is going to be in over
Philly?
in Europe somewhere.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so that is going. Oh, Dublin, Ireland. Sorry. So they're going to be playing in Ireland the first game of the year next week. Again, it's Navy. I like
Yeah.
Navy. I respect Navy. They don't do anything to move the needle for you one way or the other. So um, they should win the game. I mean, I'm always excited the season starts. So that's great. And then they play Tennessee State, which why they play Tennessee State, I have no clue. Apparently, someone in Tennessee State is friendly with somebody at Notre Dame because I don't see anyone to play that game. And then they play NC State. So a little bit of step up in competition. But again, no one who really moves the needle for you.
Yeah.
You know, like if you beat them, I mean, let's face it, the first two games, they better win by 30 points each. Because if not, no one's going to take them seriously.
Yeah.
And then the third game, NC State, got to beat them by
Michigan.
2 or 3 scores. Central Michigan, the same thing. You got to beat them by 20, 30 points. If not, no one will care. And plus, I'm going to be at that game. So they better win this day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So. And then they play Ohio State. So that's the real test.
Wait, why don't you wait to the Ohio State game, right?
Because that's a night game, Jerome. Be a bunch of drunks there.
I got you.
Plus, that's not. That's a home game too. Yeah.
Yeah, the next home game.
I honestly, Jerome, I'm getting tired of walking out of that stadium a loser. To be honest with you.
I hear you. Look, no, you're not gonna lose that. You're gonna be good. You're gonna be good.
No. Yeah, man. Like honestly, it's like Miami plays the Eagles this year at the Link, but it's a night game, man. You know what that game is going to be like, especially if the Eagles lose.
Oh yeah.
So it's just
and we're gonna have our Kelly Greens on that night. So if we lose, it's gonna be hell.
Well, anyway, it was a night game. It just kind of doesn't fit in my thing. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to go there. And I guess I could go there and then just go to the game and leave the next morning. But, you know, I don't know. I would like to see them play Ohio State, of course, but is it a game that I am a little fearful of? Of course. It's Ohio State. They're a good team. So I don't know how they're going to win that game. But it is a game in our stadium. So last year we played them in Ohio State, and it was a fairly close game. We lost by 11. So, you know.
Yeah.
And then after that, they play at Duke, at Louisville, and then USC.
Yep.
Again, two teams.
A little bit of a stretch. You got a little bit of stretch. I mean, I'm not going to say Duke is good at all, but Louisville is solid. Okay. USC is going to be the big game.
Pitt at home should be a win, but they're a solid team. They're not good, but they're a solid team.
Yeah.
And then at Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play Wake Forest, which I'm sure for Sam Hartman would be a nice game. And then at Stanford. So really, if you look at this schedule, they have 3 tough games.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to win every other game. Should they? Yes, they should.
Mm-hmm.
Will they? Until I see them do it, I would have never thought they were going to lose to Marshall last year either. And I knew they weren't going to lose to Stanford. So, man. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got a revenge game at the end of the season for that one, and it's gonna be at Stanford for that one.
Yes.
But I mean, like, if you look at it, Ohio State, USC, Clemson, biggest 3 games right there.
Yep.
You got some okay teams like NC State, maybe a Louisville, maybe a Pitt, maybe a Wake Forest that can sneak up on you. But I mean, for the most part, you gotta, like you said, you do have a pretty easily scheduled. I think it's really going to depends on how your offense moves, and I think y'all are going to have success there as well. I'm going to say, ugh, am I giving you all 3 losses?
You know what, Jerome? I was going to go 10 wins.
That's the question.
I'm
going to let you answer that first, right?
I was going to say, go give me. I think we will get 10 wins. I think that we should win most of the games. We should win, and maybe we lose 2 of the 3 big games. I mean, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we beat Ohio State. I'm hoping we beat Clemson. I'm hoping we beat USC. The USC game is at home.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have that one. But Clemson's a big game for us because that late in the year, if we play well against them and get a nice win, that could help us in the standings a little bit. So I want to win all 3 of them, of course. Plus, if you lose all 3 of those games with the rest of that schedule, people are going to argue you don't belong in the top 15. You know?
Yeah. No, you're definitely not gonna be in there. You're definitely not gonna be in there. All right. First comment of the day, Avery. What's up, Avery? He's saying, what's up to us? Yo, what's up, fellas? Thank you, Avery, for being on. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. We see you on the Aired Out podcast this weekend, so I hope you're doing well. He also says should beat USC and Clemson, in my opinion. Ooh.
I would love that.
Ooh.
Thank you, Avery. Avery,
I know.
If you're listening, yeah, man, I watched the Atlanta Falcons play a couple games. I'm really encouraged by how physical they play up front, man, on both sides of the ball. Very encouraged by that. I think it could be a little bit of
I think
if I knew what kind of quarterback play I was going to get, I would actually go out on a limb and predict a record. But until I see that, we'll see. And
that's the question.
Correct.
Yeah, obviously Bijan is incredible as well. So I think this city's not prepared to see what they're about to see. I think they're going to be a little bit better than most.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm loving the play. My only concern is the pass rush, in my opinion.
Agree. Yeah. I think you're going to have to do some things stylistically to create pass rush.
Yeah, but you know what, Avery? Y'all secondary is way better than it used to be. So therefore, I think that's going to help you guys out with that pass rush because now you're going to have guys a little bit more stickier than before. So y'all really revamped that defense. Even though it's looking like Okuda might be injured, which was my biggest concern when y'all traded for him. I thought he improved, but he just can't stay healthy. So, but yeah, I think that's real cool, man. So getting back to the Notre Dame, I agree with. Yeah, that'd be cool to see that. I just don't. I honestly, I think you're gonna be Ohio State, and this is not just me being biased. It's just gonna be that SEC teams and the USC's. I mean, I think very highly of USC right now. They're probably one of the teams to beat right now, honestly. Clemson's going to have a bounce back year. I think with Plumnick having a full year to really establish himself there, their running game, the defense is going to be revamped, led by Trotter Jr. and Simpson. No, not Simpson. Sorry, Simpson's gone. But being led by that defense, I think that they're going to still be a good team. I really do. So You might not beat that game. I think that one's still possible. I think the USC game is the hardest one, and it's going to be really hard for me to say yes to that one. So I am going to give you guys the two. I still think you can beat Ohio State simply because one, we got to see how that defense still plays. They played terribly last year. Yes, they said they look better on defense. We'll see. They looked terrible last year, and then they got a new quarterback, and he's no CJ Stroud. So we'll see.
I think that's the optimistic. The other part I'm optimistic about, just like Michigan should be. The two teams that were like I know you guys beat Ohio State last year, but
Yeah,
the two of the better teams that we both have to worry about because like you probably don't play Ohio State, do you? Or you do, right?
yeah,
Yeah, you play them every year, right?
we always play Ohio State.
Yeah, so we play Ohio State too, and we play USC. But I think that with us having stability at quarterback, you playing McCarthy, me improving on the position, with these other teams changing quarterbacks, kind of makes it a little bit more wide open for everyone.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's what I'm hoping. Like, I'm glad that Ohio State's playing a team like y'all early on to kind of like bring him back to life because like still a young quarterback. He don't have a lot of experience playing. I heard he's very talented, but he don't have a lot of experience playing. And then your defense is really good. So so we'll see how that will. Avery says exactly we have depth to do the stylistic pass rush, but I'd rather lock up and get their work front four. I agree with that. I agree with that. Ritter keeps the turnovers down. We're 10-win team. Okay.
You know what I think with Desmond Ritter, like they need to just put it in his head, dude. This is not college football anymore. 1, 2, 3, it's out. 1, 2, 3, it's out. 1, 2, 3. Or you know what? 1, 2, tuck it and run with it if you have to.
What was Matt Ryan doing? Oh, was what patting the ball? What was that? That's a running joke on Air It Out podcast. He says Ohio State is vulnerable. I think so. They're a little vulnerable. Again, it's still really honestly, yeah, they got a new quarterback, and you can survive with a quarterback, especially when you got those receivers you got. But how their defense gonna play?
Defense was horrible last year.
He said, "Don't pat the ball. Don't pat the ball, Ritter. Don't pat the ball." But yeah, it was really bad. So again, apparently it's supposed to be better this year. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. So again, I'm not just being a hater. I am being a hater, but I'm not being a hater. So let's get to my team, the one and only Michigan. Hell to the victor. All right, I'm not gonna sing the whole thing, but anyway, let's get to our team, right? So obviously our team's being led by JJ McCaffrey, our junior quarterback. Played at IAG Academy. I was just there 2 weeks ago. Really good school. They was, by the way, they was raving about him when I was down there. Like nothing but good things talking about him. It was a lot of it was outside of football. So hopefully he have a lot of success. I like when I hear about like good people, So, but let's get right into it, Ray. What do you think about JJ McCaffrey's year this year?
I expect him to build on what he did last year. I expect him to have a good year.
I agree.
He's an athletic guy who will help the run game out, and Blake Corum's back, and Donovan Edwards. So
we're gonna talk about that, Avery.
I expect Michigan to be a run-first team and to create plays with the run game. So
correct. Yeah,
I would not say that Corum was the only reason why they didn't get further last year, but not having
a big difference
did not help for sure.
He would have made a big difference because, like, when you don't have a Corum, you know that you don't have to lean on the running game being super effective. You can expect some passes and things like that. When you have Corman, you have to almost always think we're going to run the ball.
Yeah. And not only that, like with Donovan Edwards, as good as he is and athletic as he is,
He's more of a pass catcher.
You're always waiting for him to make that one mistake.
Yeah.
Corum doesn't do that. He
Yeah.
doesn't make mistakes, and it really just makes your run game more explosive because Edwards is different.
Correct.
And Corum's
Edwards more of like a scat, catch out of backfield kind of running back.
You can let him different things.
Although he's small, he'll run through the tackles and he'll make you miss with one step, that kind of deal. So I think him coming off that injury, coming back for a senior was huge for us. I think that I don't think we're gonna lean on the running game as much as we were before because we do have a JJ McCaffrey and we are gonna pass it. I mean, yeah, we are gonna pass. But think you got to remember too. We actually got 3 good running backs. CJ Stokes, who had some plays last year because Corn was out, was playing really well. He's another guy that can play out of the backfield and catch the ball and stuff like that as well. So I'm very excited about this future of this team as well. Even after this year, because after this year, I'm not sure if JJ's gonna leave or stay. He is a junior, so he can have that option. He seemed like a guy that might want to stay, but I can't speculate also. But I would be very, very, very surprised if he don't wind up in first round conversation at the end of the year. I would really, because he was showing a lot, and even with his mistakes that he made in that in a champion the not semifinal game last year, which was the opening pick, he was lights out since then and kept us in the game. If we didn't have a JJ McCaffrey, we would have got blown out. Seriously. So he's very accurate and he got a turnover. He got a touchdown that was not called a touchdown, but anyway. I'm still salty about that. That was a touchdown. Anyway. But Ray, what do you think about our receivers? Because our receivers, we did take a big hit this offseason with a couple of our guys transferring, which I was very surprised with. And I was telling you last year, in the beginning of last year, that I thought we had one of the more deep wide receiver classes that I've seen from us in a long time. And then a lot of those guys just transferred. So it's looking like it's going to be mainly a 2-man show. What do you think about the receivers in general, though?
Well, I like Cornelius Johnson. I think he's a good footballer. He was there last year, and
I heard people thinking he might be a first round consideration after this year too. I don't think so, but I'm hearing that too.
Okay, they brought in AJ Barner from Indiana, who's a nice little player. I think that's the only thing I don't like. You said like you think they're going to throw the ball. I don't know if they're going to throw the ball that much, Jerome, because their strength is still their running game and their offensive line. So yes, they do have players out wide who can create mismatches downfield. So I think that's where I think it's going to be different. I think they're going to try to open it up downfield a little bit more than they have in the past.
Yeah. Well, this is my thing. It's because I'm saying Corn's back, and we were running heavy when Corn was in last year because we did have the Donovan Edwards that can spill him and put him in, and they had success with the 2 running backs, even with playing Stokes in. But now I think that we're going to lean a little bit more on the passing game than just relying on Corum. Again, coming off an injury, 1, 2, JJ McCaffrey, and I know John Harbaugh. He wants to pass. I know he does. You've seen the last couple of years when he tried to force it with what's the guy? Why am I blanking on his name? No, how am I forgetting my own quarterback's name? But
it was like there's literally 3 on the drum.
Huh?
Joe Milton or
no, one before that. When Harbaugh first got there, oh man, I want to blank on his name. But
he was bad. No matter.
Yeah. So his face is in my head. I just can't think of his name. But we was really trying to like force like a passing game with him, and then Harbaugh finally was like, "Dude, I need to start running," and that's when you had your Hassan last name. Hassan. I forgot his name. Haskins. Hassan Haskins. Yeah, Hassan Haskins. And Blake Corum. And then you find out Blake Corum can run really well. Then you have Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. Now you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
now he's leaning back on a run, but I feel like he wants to pass. And now, and we didn't talk about this guy yet, and I think he's going to have a huge season, and he's going to be included in his passing game as well. But Colston Loveland, they love him, and he was playing out his mind when what's his name went out. I play for Dallas now. I forgot his name because he played for Dallas, but
I like Loveland a lot too. I do. Yeah. I think, but again, that tends to mean you're going to throw the ball to the tight end and to your backs more than wide receiver.
No, I mean you still got Roman Wilson, who's the one that didn't get the touchdown. He's our speedster. He's going to be the one to open up the field for us a little bit down the field. So you're going to see a lot of that. And you're right. We are going to see a lot of more down the field throws. But I just think that it's not going to be as heavy as it was when Blake Corum was playing in the beginning of the season. It's going to be more of a balanced type of offense.
You know what I also like AJ Henning, who's a junior.
Yeah.
I think but that's where I mean though, from
Wait,
the guys.
AJ Henning transferred, didn't he?
I had him on your roster right now, dude.
No, he transferred.
He transferred? Okay. Shame, I actually like him a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We lost a lot of guys on our roster. I think they're gonna try to get Samaj Morgan in a little bit too. He's a freshman. He's a really good freshman. He might get in the mix a little bit. He's a very talented receiver. So we'll see with that.
Darius Clemens is still there.
I'm telling you, we lost 3 or 4 guys in the passing game last year.
Darius Clemens is still there, right?
Darius Clemens?
Yeah.
No.
He left too?
Darius. I think so. No, he's still there. I'm sorry. He's still there.
He's a talented kid too. Again, that's what I think you need. You need guys to step up and be the guy.
Correct.
If that happens, I think, Harbaugh will open it up a little bit. But right now, I believe in the tight end and the running backs. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I believe
Let's talk about the offensive line, though, right?
Yes. Very good offensive line. Michigan, again, likes their physical offensive linemen, and they have plenty of them. They got Zach Zinter, who's a right guard. He's a rogue rating animal. And Trevor Kagan, who's the left guard again, who's a rogue rating animal. Again, yes. Drake Nugent, their senior center, who is more physical than athletic, but again, leads to the running game. They manhandle people in the trenches. That's why Corum is honestly a more productive player than Donovan Edwards, because he will get if the play's blocked for 4 yards, Corum's going to get you at least 4 yards, where Donovan Edwards may bounce it outside and try to get more out of it and not get that 4 yards.
Correct.
So, I mean, I could see where Michigan could play some 21 personnel where they had 2 backs back there and then move Donovan Edwards outside and take advantage of a nickelback with a linebacker. That's where I think they may create. Again, unless one of these young wide receivers, Cornelius Johnson right now is the only proven guy you have from your roster.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So you need to bring in guys that can make plays. And then again, like I said, if their receivers step up and show, because Michigan's going to block, and they're going to try to establish a run game. Can they get some guys to make plays downfield for them? That's where we're going to find out. So,
yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's a good concept. You got the 2 running backs, like you're saying. You can flank them out. You can do that. Play action obviously is going to be a big deal. Keeping it in JJ's hands sometimes.
If you remember last year, they did that with Corum a little bit. They would line him up. They would line him up next to the tight end. The tight end would block. And they throw a real quick hitch to him, and it weren't again. Blake Corum is one of my favorite players, man. I just love his physical nastiness. He's a better player than Deuce Staley, at least college player, but he reminds me of Deuce Staley, how physical and tough he was in South Carolina.
Yeah. I agree, right? Before his injury, he probably would have at least got into the MVP conversation.
Guy
He was in
almost
there for a
2,000 yards
minute.
of, he had almost 2,000 yards of total event offense last year. So
Definitely. I'm just laughing because of this 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 grossness right
well,
here. Listen, we're talking about our teams today. This is our podcast, sir.
who is it?
Avery, of course. He's an Alabama fan.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I forgot he was an Alabama guy. Okay, man. Yeah, no, man. You can root for anything you want. It's all good.
Yeah.
But if you're a Georgia fan, you can be in Alabama. No, you can't. Can you? Can you root for Georgia and Alabama?
No. 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 Hey, no. That's I learned that very quickly down here. No.
Yo, Avery, can you do me one favor? Can you tell
You
Juan to
can't
wear?
do Alabama or you can't do Auburn.
Yeah, can you do me a favor though, Avery? I listen to your podcast whenever you guys are on. Can you tell Juan to wear a goddamn Jets jersey for a change, please?
Too funny. All right. Real quick, we're gonna get to Avery's question since we're talking
Yeah.
about the offensive line. Obviously, John Harbaugh. It sounded like he's going to get his three. It was four at first. It sounded like it's going to be reduced to three-game suspension. We're going to talk about this. Talk about it in the schedule since later on. But right now, I'm going to say I don't think it's going to be a big issue. His offensive coordinators was taking over last year anyway for some of the offensive plays. And I think just having a veteran quarterback now, a guy that got some experience under him. You got two really good running backs. I don't see it as an issue. We'll see, but Avery said, "I got you." Talking about the one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see it being a huge issue. Will it be different not having him on the sideline? Yeah, of course. He's the guy that everybody relies on and everything like that. Will it be a big issue? I don't think so. If anything, it's probably going to rally the team more. Honestly, these guys love that guy. They love John Harbaugh. So, if anything, it might rally them just to do better. Honestly, I'm not concerned with it. And looking at how the roster is, those first three games, I'm really not concerned with it. Honestly,
Yeah. Well, you play
I
East
feel like
Carolina, UNLV, and Bowling Green. So
yeah.
schedule-wise, that's not the issue.
Listen, last year we was rotating quarterbacks for the first four games, so
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Well, my own.
It's a similar situation.
It's funny, Jerome. It's like we were talking about it a little bit before we came on. Before Avery brought it up. I just think like, what justifies going after someone for recruiting violations anymore? What did he do that caused him to get suspended for 3 games? Like,
I don't know. I wish I knew. I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
like.
I don't have a ton of information on it, honestly, but I don't know,
I
dude.
mean,
Because
but we
like,
all know that recruiting wise, man, these guys take just about every liberty they can, right? So,
yeah,
is it
yeah,
going to be one of them things where every once in a while they just go after a high profile coach just to prove a point? Is that what it's going to
that
be?
it might be a thing. I don't know,
Hmm.
right?
I mean, if that's the case, see, here's the thing: they would never touch Nick Saban because he would tongue lash every one of them, and he would.
Oh yeah,
I don't, but I don't want to say things about SEC teams because I know people will probably be offended and not like it. No one cheats.
Avery.
No. I'm not talking about just Avery. I'm talking about like, if we don't know that SEC teams cheat more than everybody else, what are we talking about?
It's getting spicy in here.
It may be getting spicy because we all know it's true. Even in the NFL, the only reason they had to create a salary cap was because Pittsburgh, Dallas, and San Francisco took advantage every year, and that's why they won all the time. So let's
Yep.
be real about it, all right?
Yep. No, I agree. All right, let's get back to some Michigan. I like talking about my team, so we're gonna keep talking about
Nah.
them. So let's talk about our defensive line, Ray. Obviously led by Chris Jenkins, the son of Chris Jenkins that was in the NFL. I'm hearing a lot of big, huge things about him this year. I know that last year he was very good. I'm hearing he's unguardable this year. What would you want to say about this?
Agreed. I think Chris Jenkins is a stud. I think I've been hearing the same thing that he's been playing really well in camp. And I watched some of Michigan's camp this year. Their
I did
spring,
too.
and he was pretty much taking names, as they say, during practice against his own guys. I'm sure they're like most teams by now, kind of like thirsting at the mouth to try to get a hold of somebody else's uniform number. But I think Jenkins is good. I think you're going to see where he's going to be he's a first round pick right now. You could talk about him
Mhm.
being a top 10 or 15 player if he builds
Right.
on what he did last year. And I mean,
Right.
I also like Jalen Harrell, their defensive end. I think he's a very good player. He's
Mhm.
on the verge of being a household name, I believe. So
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, Rashawn Benny, he's a good player. He's going to benefit a lot from having Chris Jenkins just tear up the offensive lineman. So I agree with you, Ray. I think this is going to be. Um, it's not, or I think it's going to be. Michigan always had good defensive line, just
mhm.
how we always been. I don't think it's going to be the most dominant defensive line we ever had because we had some really good defensive lines. But I think this is going to be it's going to stack up really well. Where we're going to do some well. I think actually our secondary is a little bit better than last year, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let me get to some of these comments real quick because we got some flying in real quick. Avery says not SEC is the most corrupt. Not afraid to say it. At least he admits to it.
Yeah.
Rags and Fitness he says good stuff, guys. What's up, my man? Thank you for tuning in. I know we've been talking about Alabama, so if you want to chime in, we talk about Alabama a little bit. I know you're an Alabama guy, so let us know. He also says they could do several 30, 30 for 30s on the SEC line and have content for the next decade. That is
Good.
very, very true.
Man, I was talking to a guy earlier today, and I said to him, like, yeah, man, there are teams in every walk of football that I don't like, college and
Mhm.
pro. But I mean, I
Yeah,
respect most teams. Don't
yeah.
have to like them to respect them. Like even with like, I don't like Michigan. I don't like Ohio State. When I was a kid, I actually didn't like Alabama. I liked Bear Bryant. I thought he was a great coach.
Mm,
I didn't
mm,
like Penn State. I liked Joe Paterno. I thought he was a great coach. At the time, I wasn't just becoming a Notre Dame fan. Earl Parseghian, great coach. I think back
mm.
then, like now, it's the coaches you kind of notice first, how they
Yeah,
carry themselves, how much they win. I mean,
yeah.
but I respect even like I know people aren't going to like hearing this about the NFL. I respect like to say the Eagles. I respect that the Eagles and the Giants have been around since but pretty much since the NFL started.
Yeah.
I respect that Washington used to be a great franchise. It's not anymore,
Mhm.
but it used to be a great franchise. And I respect that the Dallas Cowboys are one of the most recognizable franchises
Overrated? Oh,
in
sorry.
pro
Sorry.
sports. I mean, again, I don't go there. Again, I'm not a fan, but I do respect all of them. Like even the
Yeah,
teams in
no.
my division, I hate the Jets. I don't. I dislike their fans. They're annoying and obnoxious. I'll leave it at that. I don't. I respect the Patriots, but I don't like the Patriots. And their fans again are like I don't
They
know.
can't be touched.
I
They're
don't.
that overly like they're like the spoiled child, like
Yeah,
that always
they're
got
like
everything on
they
their
want
life.
to. Whenever you bring up the fact that they're not good right now, they want to talk about the 6 Super Bowls that they won. The last 20 years. And I get
Mhm.
that. That's fine. And again, I respect that. I wish my team could go on a run like that. I'm not going to lie about it. I
We all do.
wish, you know what I mean? And I respect them, but I don't have to like them. And then, what's fun? The Bills, and their fans used to like be the least annoying of the fans until recently.
Yeah.
Now it's
Well, you can kind of see that. You can kind of see it coming though. There were super loyal fans. There was dumb shit crazy, and then they just I don't know. They just
let me
wow
ask this.
guys, and now they gain a little success, and you can see it kind of coming.
Yeah, but are they successful? Are they confident? Or are they scared that Josh Allen's not going to be able to get it done?
I don't know. I don't know how that works right now.
Yeah, well, I think it works like, yo, I respect Josh Allen. He's a great talent, and he's been a great player. I don't know if he's always the greatest quarterback, but he's a great player. Stephon Diggs don't think he's great, but he's a great player. Okay,
Stephon Diggs gonna go.
he was out of Buffalo, man, in the worst way. I'm going to be honest with you. If he could get $20 million from any other team in the NFL, he would go there.
I just hope that he's not trying to go play with his brother.
Because
I heard that's one of the 3 teams that he wants.
Dallas can't afford him. Don't worry about that. If he go, you know where he'll go? The Giants. Now, I would be afraid of that. Dable and him have a relationship. He could really, really help that quarterback.
He could.
So that would be the one team I would be afraid that he would go to.
Yeah,
if I were him.
He's a good player. I don't want him nowhere near there.
No, Stephon Diggs is a great player. He's a little bit of annoying, obnoxious. Oh, he's a wide receiver. Shocking. But he's a very good player, man. He is. Yeah. He's a very good player. And I know we're getting into the NFL too much. So anyway, that's where I was going. I respect all football teams. I don't have to like them to respect them.
Definitely. No, I agree. All right, let's get back to my team. Okay, I like to talk about my team. Let's talk about the linebackers, right? I think this is the biggest concern with me in this entire team, just the linebackers. Because, I think Jared Colson can't really, pick it up. And then I think the other starter is going to be Michael Bennett. I think he's the other guy that is going to be starting. I'm pretty sure.
Barrett.
Yeah, it's him, right? He's starting.
And they had them playing a 4-2-5.
Yeah, so we only start 2 linebackers at a time. But I'm just curious how that's gonna work. I know how it's gonna work, but Colson Bennett, I had high hopes for him. He kind of disappointed me a little bit last year, so I think he can get a good bounce back this year. We'll see how that goes. Bennett was solid. He's a solid guy. He's nothing like to write home about. I just think our linebacker play is not going to be something that everybody's going to be like, oh my God, about. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be solid. It's just really going to be our defensive line and that secondary, in my opinion, right? What are you thinking?
I think Mike Summers still is your one defensive back who plays well against the run and the pass. Mm-hmm. I think he's a good player. I think Rod Moore is a good free safety who is able to help out both your corners. Your corners are both young too. Amari Walker and Will Johnson are both sophomores.
Will Johnson is a beast, though, right? Will Johnson started last year.
Who I like him, but I still have not seen how he's going to react when you play against really good players yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be our number 1 guy right now. And then Sam's still going to be in the slot. I like how he played last year, especially considering that he was that was his first time playing on defense in college, at least. So I think that was really cool to see how he kind of like transitioned so fast, and he became a hitter, which was I didn't see that coming. Makari Page is the guy that I think is going to have a solid year. Rod Moore is going to be the other starter. Excuse me, there as well. But I think we got a really good team right now. The secondary, there's guys that you can like really rotate in as well. Walker, so I really think our secondary is really, really strong with a lot of good depth as well.
Well, that is the one thing I do like, the depth there.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what I'm going to get from everybody, but I think there's depth. You'll probably work your way through it and figure it out eventually.
Yeah, definitely. So I think Silverstone is going to be a really good guy. He reminds me of a Julius Peppers, where you can kind of use him everywhere. I mean, not Julius Peppers. I'll say Julie's Peppers. Wrong Peppers. Pepper.
From Michigan. Yeah,
Yeah. He plays on
Jabari.
Jabari. Yeah, Jabari Peppers. Thank you. I could not get
Yeah.
Julius on my head.
Let me ask you this. Here's my question about your defense. You have Jesse Minter and Steve Quickscale as co-defensive coordinators. What is that about?
Oh, dude, did we? So we did that last year, and that was the first time last year. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but it was solid last year. I mean, I know in the beginning of the season, I was very concerned about it. I was very scared about it, but they did a good job. So hey, if it works, it works. Hey, I'll take it.
Is it that one guy coaches the secondary and one guy coaches the front
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Right?
That's exactly how it is. Exactly how it is.
I mean, I can see where
So
that works as long as they're working together, man. That's all that
yeah,
matters.
100%. And my thing is, I just don't want them to get too blitz heavy on that zero blitz because they did it like 4 times during that TCU games and it hurt us every single time. So maybe they can like revise that, maybe scale back on that a little bit. They were doing it way too much, and it left Quentin Johnson open so many times.
Well,
So
the thing I don't like about it is that you have to depend on your corners to play
correct,
push coverage.
correct.
You have to. And if
Mm-hmm.
they can't do that, which, like you said, though, what's his name? Walker's going to be good, though, on that. Is
Yeah,
Johnson going to be as good?
correct.
And honestly, I like the zero blitz. I like it sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't like it when it's your.
that's a 1 or 2 time
It's like,
thing for me.
honestly, Miami did the same. The Dolphins did the same thing. They would use it all the time. And when the problem is that when you don't get home with it, it's a big play.
Hey, it's a huge play almost
That's
every time. Yeah.
so that's a problem,
Yep.
So to
Yep.
me, you use it certain times, and you got to try to disguise it no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. I mean, like, and the advantage you have though, Jerome, in playing the five defensive backs who lead you to where you could zero blitz, and you can still cover some in the background, like run
Yeah.
a little soft zone of it.
Yeah, and I think that was the mindset of that game.
Right, but if you don't get home on that, then it's even a bigger play.
Yeah, because they was making
I like it and I don't like it.
They was making that their quarterback look so good, and he was not playing. Like this is one thing everybody was like saying. I was like, dude, he was not playing good in that game. I'm not gonna say he got lucky, but dude, those zero blitzes and the stats that you take away those zero blitz plays for him, his stats was horrible.
Yeah.
His stats was really bad. It was like 3 or 4 big plays that made him look really good. His stats was really bad in the beginning.
If you run a play if you run a zero blitz and you hit a play quick in the middle of the field, it's a big play.
Correct.
It's a big play.
Yep.
Even if you have guys that play safety that can cover a little bit, they're still running from behind the guy, or they don't have great angles on them unless you can make the quarterback hold.
Such an open field, such an open field, and trying to cover that, it's hard. So anyway, but yeah, altogether, I think our secondary is going to be really good. I'm actually excited about our secondary. You know me, I like defense. DB, so that's always makes you excited to see that we got a lot of good ones, and we got a couple of good ones coming in, man. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this future. I like where this team is going, man. After maybe 3 years ago, I was like very questioning a lot of stuff that was going on, but
I remember. I remember the fire harbor.
Yeah, it was coming out. It was just like the Fire Harvey. Yeah,
I remember. Me, on the other hand, I was like, no, don't fire your coach. Don't fire your coach. And then Brian Kelly quits on me because he's a fraud.
Oh man, you're right though. Yeah. So, all right, let's get to our schedule real quick, Ray. And Ray, I will say our schedule don't look that bad. There's 2 teams that I'm definitely scared about, and we talk about that a little bit in the past. So if you've been watching some of our old podcasts, you probably guessed with the two teams. And one team I a little bit more scared than the other. But let's get through it real quick. First 3 games are at first 4 games are at home for Michigan. And it's another reason why I'm not scared about us not having Harbaugh for 4 games. We're going to be home. East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers. That's our first 4 games. All of them going to be home. Then we wait for 2 games versus Nebraska and Minnesota. We're going to be back home versus Indiana, away for Michigan State. We're going to be home for Purdue, away for the next 2 games versus Penn State and Maryland. And then we're going to be home at the big house for the big game, Ohio State. So looking at their schedule, Ray, what are you thinking?
At least 10 wins. At least 10 wins.
I'm giving this 11. I think we're going to lose 1 game. And it's going to be either of those 2 games. And I think it's going to be if we don't run it all, honestly, because I think we can still run it all.
Yeah.
It's going to. I think if it does happen, I think it's going to be that Penn State game more than the Ohio State game. I'm sorry. Penn State got me frightened, dude. Their team looks so good. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. I'm more frightened than with Penn State than Ohio State. We'll see how it goes because your favorite coach is over there.
I'm not a huge Ryan Day fan. I think he's a good coach, but I think
a solid coach.
James Franklin's a fraud, man. Great recruiter. He's not a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see where teams are at that time of the year. I mean, right now, I wouldn't say they're going to lose to Penn State, but we'll see.
I mean, yeah, we have to see how everything kind of plays out during the season too, because we're speculating on everything from paper. So obviously, you gotta get on the field, you gotta see how the product looks, and how everybody plays. So give it like 3 weeks.
Were against Penn State last year. You guys manhandled. You remember how you guys manhandled Penn State last year?
Oh yeah.
So why would this year?
I think they got a better. But Ray, I think they got a better team. They got upgrade at the quarterback. They got
more
good running backs. Three running backs actually.
They have 3 great running backs. They do.
They got some solid receivers. Their secondary is really good. Pass rush is always good. It just, I don't know. It just reeks like a good team this year. I don't know.
They're always a pretty good team. They're a talented roster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They do. They have talent. They have talent everywhere. I'm not crazy about their quarterback. But they have talent everywhere.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say I'm crazy about the quarterback because again, we need to see how Agler do. But I still think he's an upgrade over Clifford. I mean,
well, I wasn't not a Clifford fan, but yeah, man, he's fine. He was good.
Yeah. He had one of his better years last year. I'll give him that.
He did. He was really good. And you know what? I've actually watched him play in preseason. He has not looked horrible in the NFL.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm lacking on my preseason.
I'm not I don't watch a lot of it neither. Jerome, like Saturday night, I couldn't sleep. So I was just watching like game after game after game.
Gotcha.
And Miami replayed at 4 a.m, so I watched that. At least the first quarter, because I wanted to see what it looked like, like they're not playing other guys anyway. So,
Yeah.
Nice to see their offensive line play. Their offensive lines look okay. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today, guys. We do appreciate y'all getting on. I'm so excited about the season. I can't wait to get on. Obviously, we're on a special night. We'll see if we're going to be on Wednesday. I'm still kind of working through that right now. And me and Ray will definitely update you guys if you're definitely going to be doing it Wednesday or pushing it back a little bit. But I'm super excited about the season, man. Coming right up, week 0 is this week, right?
Yep. 26.
0 is this week. 26. Yep.
Notre Dame plays this week against Navy.
That's probably the biggest team that's. Oh no, USC playing too.
No, there's some good games. There's some pretty good games.
Yeah.
Some decent games. I mean, man, it's still college football, so I'm good.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. So we'll definitely see some good fireworks, and we'll talk about a little bit at the next time we have a podcast. Hopefully, it's gonna be Wednesday, which is 2 days from now. So we'll see. But yeah, man, I'm super excited about the season. I hope this be a great one. I hope you guys stay locked in and tuned in with us. We're gonna have a whole bunch of analysts and analytics all week talking about how this team's gonna go and things like that. So stay locked with us. Make sure you like and subscribe on our YouTube or Instagram, Facebook, X. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. Sounds so weird saying that, but check us out on our platform. We got a lot of great stuff. A lot of players that we interview going into college or in high school or college games. We interview a lot of these players. So make sure you check us out. We have all that great content on our YouTube channel, which you can find right over here. If you click on this, look, I got one too now, right? So
Right
right
there.
there, right there, and right under Ray, you get scan that QR code. I'm slide over, give you guys some a little bit of time to scan that. But that QR code right there, right next to me, right under Ray, scan that. You can find all of our social medias if you want to find us and support us. We do really do appreciate everybody being here. Thanks. Special shout out to RJ, condolence, Avery, Rags and Fitness, and everybody else that was in here. We do appreciate each and every one of you being in here and supporting us. So that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Hopefully, you enjoyed this episode. Check us out later this week when we finish up talking about how week 0 and week 1 is gonna be. So again, I'm Jerome Jones, your humble host. This is Ray Roberts. Thank you guys so much, and see ya on the next one. Go Blue!